So we just saw the single play. That keeps me really excited. Not just a single person, but the several people can play together. Yoshida-san was talking about it. This is about the fighting shoulder to shoulder. So when we talk about it, how can we do it? It has to be a multiplayer format that we have to support. So based on that, we do have to have the solid ground about the multiplayer mode settings. And I'd like to give you some sneak preview, and I have the clip. And this is a highlight for you to watch. So from the book, you get sorcerer out of the book, emerges from the book, or you in the book. There are 4 people, 4 players, multiplayer. Usually we are talking about 4 players together. And you see the flames, and you move. This is part of the magic, high velocity, moving from one place to another. You leave the trail of your footage, and you move, and you use the flame of the magic of sorcerer. And each one has its magic to use against. You beat some evil object, and this is the soul of the goblin.
And from the ground, you have a hand coming out, and that's also power. Yes, that's one of the magic. In the dark world, this is also very dark, but everything is not dark because it's basically invaded or overpowered by the monsters. They're conquered by the monsters. So basically people, human beings, basically end up being monsters. It's by the Kerberos. It's like a wolf-like monster with 3 heads. So it's a little different from the conventional Kerberos, because this is our version, our take of Kerberos. Because, what kind of desire made him end up being like this or in this form. And looking from that angle, you also could look at the background of the original human being. And magic itself, there's 3 things, right? And then you could choose you could switch to which type. So instantly there are 6 kinds or 3 kinds of magic that you could use. And obviously there's a magic to attack, or there's a kind of magic where you have light from the ground. And we're talking about velocity, we are really pushing that. So although it's a sorcerer, there's a lot of movement. I kind of felt, I had this stereotypical image that if it's sorcerer, you kind of step aside or back and then do something. But this time there's no warriors or brave ones or wise men like you see in other games. Those type of people do not exist, and there are only sorcerers in the game. And by using magic, you can be a warrior. The sorcerers can be a wise man or a warrior or a brave one. So everything is basically maneuvered and handled by using magic. On the screen, I just saw some red text. And by giving more damage to the enemy, there are some words in text. You see the weaknesses of the human side of the monster. This is a golem. Well, he's not an enemy, but basically he's the one calling. Well, he's basically coming out of the ground, beating. But now I took the sword. The sword is made by the tree. So basically, by sacrificing the tree, you get this weapon. And basically, there's a cost, or you pay a price to acquire powers. And now one of the heads of the Kerberos has blown away. And now stop time, and then you could attack in the screen. And while fighting, it's difficult maybe for people to read what's delivered on text. Maybe I'm making an excuse. You know, the type of words that the monster is actually saying is kind of more like an excuse. I'm kind of looking for the magic point, but well, if you have something that you can sacrifice, or if there's something that you could pay for a price, you can always use your powers. Or if you don't own anything to pay for as a cost, you could also use your physical parts of the body, like your eyes or whatnot. And he's dead, or he's nearly dead right now, and so you have your team members trying to decide whether you want to redeem him, or to offer him as a sacrifice. And you use the magic of salamander by offering, and then using this fire power, you yourself become a huge fire, and you confront Kerberos. So this is basically sacrificing a life. So that's the ultimate sacrifice, or ultimate power. And by doing so, you destroyed Kerberos, and also you lost one quest member. Here you have these texts saying that I want to hear my child's voice, I want to see my family. The monster is now going back to its human form. And at this moment, again, you want to save him, or give him as an offering. You decide as a team, and mercilessly you decide to make this person an offering. And you have one life dead, so you won't be able to get him. So there's also, if you're going to sacrifice someone else, or you're going to sacrifice yourself. In a movie or in animation, there are moments where a guy says, I'll handle the situation. He's basically giving his life up. But that's very difficult to do.
So this is the ultimate decision that you're going to have to make. So this is about the human emotion, a lot of humanities, and that's the important part of it, how to put your souls into the games. And the players, you have the allies, your friends and enemies, and friends and foes. You really have to think through. Right, you might end up, hating each other, or you become great friends, buddies. So that's the lot of experiences. You have a lot of insight about the people you play with, and you feel a lot of intensity each other, because you are sacrificing yourself or your friends. And that's a charm. That's the immense emotions that you get to go through. So it's about the sorcerer, and that's like a heroic image, and that could be what appears to be really exciting. Well, I've been an independent game developer, and it's been since 12 months. I become an independent player in the PlayStation Vita. I have pleasure to have this opportunity to work on that, and I'm putting a lot of energies and passion into it. I've been putting a lot of speed, velocity with the development efforts, and try to develop something really, really astonishing to the game lovers and enthusiasts. And things are working well, and within this year, I will be able to deliver what I promised to you, and something really, really exciting, most playful, joyful game you will be able to find out. So that's a sacrifice I'm willing to give out, and have done so much in order to get the fruit of the sacrifices, my personal sacrifices. I get a lot of things in return, and I get empowered with the people I work with. So I have the blessing of the wonderful team members, and try to gain what I pay for, and I'll do everything I can until the delivery date. So please stay tuned. Wait for the soul sacrifice coming up very soon. So you don't have to pay sacrifice so much. The PlayStation Vita and the PlayStation Vita software, that's all it takes for you to enjoy. So thank you so much. Thank you.
稲船さん、
Mr. Inafune, thank you
どうもありがと
so
うございま
much
した。
for joining us.